Ishreen Mark and Marka, and I'm the trustee of two charities in the UK. One is the Sri Lanka Islamic Association that's been going since the early 1970s, and the other is Women Engaged in Building Bridges, which is a fairly new organisation, about 2 or 3 years. So how Women Engaged in Building Bridges was set up is it's not a straightforward story. What happened soon after 9/11 is that I think a number of women, a number of people around the world could see, this is not sustainable. We have to do something. And, I was sitting there in my home thinking this, and there are clearly other women around the world thinking the same thing, right? And one day I got a call from this lady, Louise Kisan, who is our benefactor. And I'm not quite sure where she got my name from, but she called me and she started talking to me about this organization she wanted to set up called Women Engaged in Building Bridges. And the whole concept is that women, as the nurturers of the next generation and the educators of the next generation, are the people who, if they understood and appreciated each other's cultures, would be able to create a whole generation that was more accepting of each other and contribute to a more peaceful planet. So, given that I'd been thinking the same thing, I was like, yes, Louise, I'll work with you on it. And she'd also met a lady called June Jacobs, who is a Jewish lady. And she'd been having similar thoughts. In fact, June's quite active on the interfaith and peace circuit, and she's just recently received a CBE for her work. So the three of us got together, and June and I became co-chairs of Women Engaged in Building Bridges. And Louise would fund 1 or 2 events a year, where we would get, a good group of women, like 250 women at a time together. A small group of those women would prepare, would work on a project. So, like, one project was, let's learn about each other's diets and dietary constraints. So, a group of Jewish women and a group of Muslim women got together, and we just first of all, we saw how it was difficult to find a common menu that would work for both religions. And then we started to appreciate each other's reasons for why you can eat this or why you can cook this in this way and not the other way, and like that. So, eventually we came up with a menu that worked. And then just really, you can see how that would help us appreciate each other's customs with regards to food. And then we had this whole celebration at the Al-Khoi Foundation with 250 women, where we shared the story of how the meal got prepared. And then we gave everybody a chance to share their views about the need for some action now, and the need for us as women to really start taking ownership for understanding each other. And we had, women from all backgrounds there: Jewish faith, Muslim faith, Somali, Malaysian, Sri Lankan, Indian, Pakistani. It was really, really fantastic. And the Jewish women were from, all over the world as well: Russia, Poland, Israel. So, real increase in understanding. We've now got funding for a program of events. Like, one stream is for 4 women's workshops, followed by a cultural event, and that's a year-long program. And then we've got funding for an 18-month sports program, which really now we're taking it to the next level, right? We're bringing the children in, and they get to understand each other through sport. And we always have a speaker at the end of the event, so that it's not just let's get together and have some fun through sport, but actually start to think about the challenges. So the children are now getting educated as well. It's so far worked really well. We've got on our committee, we've got a Palestinian lady, an Iraqi lady, a Russian lady, June, who's Jewish, from Eastern Russia, myself, I'm from Sri Lanka, and I think because we are so committed to how important this is, we haven't had any major problems. We just like, okay, we'll discuss what are the events we want to do, and then we just get on and do it. Say we're short of somebody with a good understanding of finance. I'd say that's the main thing we're short of, actually. So we need to find somebody who can really do good accounts for us, which is going to be important as we grow. At this stage, we can manage. And I think the other reason it's been easy is we're still quite small. As an organizing group, we're still quite small. And that, as we grow, we may well face challenges.